Back here on the Bison Video Blog, our series counting down the top indispensable players for North Dakota State for 2017. I can't believe this guy's a senior, because I remember when he first played at Weber State in 2014 as a freshman, and I almost, if I remember right, he had a sack in that game, which is probably a perfect segue to talk about number 96 and Greg Menard, who is a senior and will be an All-American, I believe, at defensive end in 2017.
And that was probably the first sack of 28, which he has coming into the season. That's 28 sacks. He's well within record of the school mark of 41 held by Phil Hansen, Emmanuel, and somebody else.
Jerry Dahl, I believe.
Dahl, there you go. Jerry Dahl from the 70s.
Yeah.
So this guy really has made his mark on the program. He's so quick. He's so quick on the outside and strong and powerful. You look at him in street clothes outside the locker room. He doesn't.
He's not that imposing. No,
not at all.
And that's no slight to him, but that also goes to what you said of how fast he is and how strong he is.
I mean, I wouldn't want to tell him
no,
that.
No way.
Face,
and if he's watching, I apologize.
Yeah. Well, Crockett apologized to you. You had to apologize to Crockett. So
a couple years ago on this countdown. He made his mark right here. I thought this was a huge moment in that game. Early in the second half, he sacks C.J. Beathard, and the momentum, remember Iowa had all the momentum going into the half. The Bison stole it there. He was phenomenal. I don't think, there might have been a couple lulls last year, but I thought he was consistently great all of last season.
You better be good at left tackle when you face this guy, because he can really get around you fast. And when he was recruited, and we've said this many times, he's recruited out of Lakeville, Minnesota, that the word on him was a motor that doesn't quick, and boy, has that really held up over 4 years.
Now he's got a new position coach to work with. Obviously, Jamar Cain was the man who molded him into an All-American. Now Buddha Williams takes over, and I saw the two of them working pretty closely in spring ball. I'm really curious to see when we talk with Buddha when fall camp opens about what they're expecting out of him for 2017.
Well, a little advice to Buddha. You may not want to change too much about this guy, right? Because he's really, I think, refined his craft over the years. Again, that first step around the outside, we just saw in that prior film clip, that offensive lineman had no choice. No. I mean, you better have good feet at left tackle, or he's going to eat you for lunch.
So, as we look forward now with, you believe, a healthy Nate Tangway back next to him, and this goes back to what you do up front if you're an offensive line. If you double Tangway, you're going to leave one-on-one on Menard.
What would you do?
I would double Tangway. I think I'd have to. But then you take your chances. Right, but then you take your chances on Menard, who will feast on that.
Well, you double the middle and then maybe go the other way. You can't do that every play, of course, but it sets up other defensive linemen to really have a solid year. Not the great. I mean, you don't have to have an All-American year at, say, left defensive end, and there's a few guys, a couple of guys that could be there at the Tuscas, and who knows, Stanley Jones, who knows who they're going to put there. So many options on defensive end. And again, they're going to rotate players. So will Menard have All-American stats? Remember, Emmanuel rotated so much, he didn't have those All-American stats.
Not until his senior year, right.
So will they give Greg Menard the full reps to really pile up the stats? They're not about stats, I get that, but when it comes to postseason honors, sometimes the best guy doesn't win it.
He had 13 sacks last year. He needs 14 for the record. Does he get that in 2017?
Yes.
I agree with you.
Because they play some teams early in the year, I think he could have 3 or 4.5.
I think he could. Is he going to get an NFL look? His size might hurt him on that. Then he may have to move like Emmanuel did to linebacker.
Well, yeah, absolutely. When you have a player with this ability and that motor, he's going to get a look. I mean, that's a no-brainer. But what position? And he may be a linebacker.
Unbelievable. He's now a senior after playing as a true freshman. He's turned into an all-conference player. He's an All-American at defensive end. Greg Menard, number 6 on our countdown.